There you have it, the closing bell from the New York Stock Exchange. And it was a bounce back day on Wall Street. The Dow Jones climbed as investors digested the Fed chair's recent comments on interest rates. The industrials closed up about 250 points. The Nasdaq and S&P 500 also saw gains today. Tech stocks were up more than 1.5%, and the S&P jumped 1%.
Along with market volatility these days, most people are dealing with a spike in prices of just about everything. Along with inflation and interest rates, the war in Ukraine is driving up some costs, and experts say it could only get worse. Ukraine is the world's leading producer and exporter of corn, and according to the USDA, Russia and Ukraine combine for more than a quarter of the world's wheat exports. With planting season right around the corner, there is a growing concern about additional disruptions to the global food supply.
Joining us now is Patrick Thomas. He's a reporter at the Wall Street Journal covering agriculture business. Patrick, welcome. Great to have you with us. So let's look at this from the viewpoint of the American consumer. What impact will the disruption of corn and wheat have on food prices here in the U.S.?
Well, it's still pretty early to tell in a lot of regards, but with wheat is up more than 30% here over the past month. Corn is up as well. And you think of the grains, and as well, Ukraine also is a big producer of sunflower oil and cooking oils. When you couple this all together, those are things that go in just about everything, right? So if you think about bread at the bakery, if you think about meat prices as well, because grains are a huge source of feed for livestock, this has tremendous effects from the prices we'll see here in the U.S., but also when you think broadly about the world, I mean, it's a problem for us in terms of the consumer in the United States, but more broadly, this prices out some lower income countries, and a lot of analysts and executives I spoke with are pretty concerned about the global food supply and what this will mean for countries. If we're going to have a hunger problem, if it's going to exacerbate problems, this is a big concern that a lot of companies are saying that a reason why they're not pulling all their operations out of Russia. They're very concerned about the global food supply right now.
Some basic products we so often take for granted and don't really think about. Russia is also a leading exporter of fertilizer, but with the Western sanctions and high cost of gas, what type of a ripple effect do you expect this will have on the cost of other commodities?
Right. Yeah. The fertilizer one is interesting because that is definitely not something that people, every day you're not thinking about the price of fertilizer, but it has huge impacts, not just now, but this could be felt for a while, because it could change the way farmers plant their planting season if they choose to do less fertilizer intensive crops, or their yields might not be as large, so that sends the price of corn up. What this can do is it can make commodities more expensive. It can impact the yields coming out of Eastern Europe if farmers can't get the fertilizer they need for their crops, again, creating a shortage and sending prices up. And when you think about this, I mean, if a shortage of fertilizer means less farmers are planting corn or their yields are lower and prices get higher, again, that comes into meat, it comes into pantry staples, but you think of higher grain costs. All of these different things are connected. And so if you're not able to plant as much wheat or corn, and that sends costs up, and that's used for livestock feed, then you're also paying more for your pork and your chicken and beef costs as well. So you wouldn't think that fertilizer would impact those sorts of items, but it does. And that's something we'll feel here. But unfortunately, the rest of the world's going to, that hurts them a lot more, and will pay more, but they face a hunger shortage in some areas.
So, Patrick, when you mention a rise in the price of commodities, are those the specific ones that you are thinking of? Which ones do you think will see the most of an increase?
Well, I think wheat is really the number one thing people are watching right now, just because of Ukraine is considered the breadbasket of Europe. Russia is a major exporter to a lot of low-income countries. And in the U.S., wheat production has fallen over the years. Over the last 5 years, we've really seen a decline. That's because wheat prices have been low for quite some period of time. And there's been a lot of attention on some of the other commodities. So it's a big question of whether the U.S. will be able to pick up some of this production. I don't think we know the answer to that yet. So I think the price of wheat is something, because some analysts I spoke to think that the cost could keep going up. Opinions differ, but that's one we're really watching. And then the price of fertilizer too, because when you think about it from the farmer perspective, and all of this is commodity prices are high, and that helps the farmer because they get more income for their crops. But if fertilizer prices stay high too, they may not be able to make up for it with the higher commodity costs. So that they might be running a loss instead of the big gain some people think they might be getting off this. So that's another thing to keep an eye on. And for fertilizer prices, they're up right now, and some farmers fear they may not come back down. They might only plateau or go up. So that's something we're keeping an eye on.
Such a detrimental time for farmers, and seeing images of wheat bags in Ukraine destroyed by Russian missiles is really something to see. Patrick Thomas, thanks so much for your insight.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.